Hello there, it's Richard McMunn here from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to pass an Amazon AWS interview. So regardless of the AWS role you are being interviewed for, please make sure you stay tuned, watch this fully from beginning to end, because I promise to help you prepare fully for your job interview and be the standout candidate. Now, to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover. I will give you a list of Amazon AWS interview questions that I recommend you prepare for. I will also give you example answers to help you succeed at your AWS interview. I will also tell you the qualities that you have to demonstrate throughout your Amazon AWS interview. And then I will also let you know about further resources that you can get access to help you be the standout candidate. So there's 4 great reasons why you should stay tuned. Now, before I get into the training, a quick warm welcome to this Amazon AWS interview training tutorial. My name is Richard McMunn. That is me there in the center of the screen. I have been successfully helping people for 20 years now to pass their interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers you can't find anywhere else. Please make sure you subscribe by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the training videos I upload. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Please also give the video a like, because that tells me you enjoy the content, and I will therefore spend my time creating it for you. Okay, let's get into those AWS interview questions and answers. Here we go. Question number 1. Tell me about yourself and why you want to work in this Amazon AWS role. Now, this is your opportunity to showcase the skills, the qualities, and the experience you have that will enable you to excel within this Amazon AWS job position. So here's my suggested answer. I have always been someone who is technically minded, and over the years I've built up a wide array of skills, qualities, and experience that will enable me to excel within this Amazon AWS position. Now, just some of the skills and qualities I possess include an understanding of AWS, its uses, best practices and procedures, proficiency in cloud-based applications using AWS, an understanding of Amazon S3, AMI, VPC, and instances, and also how all of these integrate with AWS. I also have comprehensive knowledge of operating systems and networking, and I'm able to work well both on my own and as part of a team, and I can be relied upon to work quickly to a high standard and also within strict timescales. Now, if you hire me within this Amazon AWS position, I will always work hard to help you achieve your commercial objectives, and I will follow the Amazon leadership principles in everything I do. So that's a brilliant answer. I like it because it's in-depth. It shows your intent with regards to what you are going to do when you join Amazon within this AWS position. And you are also at the end talking about the leadership principles. Now, I'm going to come on to those in a little bit more detail later on during the presentation. But if you have an AWS interview coming up with Amazon, my advice is to study those, because they are the foundation of Amazon's success. And I believe it's important that you learn about them. So the next question for you is probably a basic one, but we need to make sure we cover the basics. What is AWS? Now, this is a relatively simple AWS interview question. However, most people go into their Amazon interview having only researched the technical AWS interview questions that they feel will come up, and as a result, they can end up failing the interview because they don't cover the basics. So here's my suggested answer. Amazon Web Services is a cloud services platform and is a subsidiary of Amazon. AWS allows individuals and businesses, both large and small, to scale through compute power, online storage, and content delivery on a pay-as-you-go basis. Now, AWS provides services for online storage and delivers dynamic and static content globally using CDN, which is Content Delivery Network. Now, with AWS, you can create any online application you require. AWS is a leader amongst cloud providers, allowing its users to become more agile. So that's a concise and relatively short answer, an overview of AWS, and it shows that you understand what it is and, more importantly, its purpose. The next question, which is pretty much guaranteed to come up: why do you want to work for Amazon? Now, this is a common question during Amazon AWS interviews. Now, the hiring manager has heard 1,001 responses to this interview question, so we need to make sure that you give them an answer that is genuine and unique. And here it is. I would like to work for Amazon because not only are you one of the greatest companies in the world, but your desire to continually innovate, create, and design groundbreaking products and services is very appealing. I am the type of person who doesn't want to sit still in my job and just do the bare minimum. I want to constantly evolve, improve, learn from others, and also use the skills and experience I have gained to good use. Now, Amazon will continue to thrive because it puts the customer at the front of everything it does. And for those reasons, I would feel immensely proud to work for Amazon in this AWS position. What I like about that answer, it is unique, but you are also mentioning at the end there that Amazon will continue to thrive because it is obsessed with the customer. And customer obsession is one of the leadership principles that you need to adhere to within any Amazon role. And again, we will talk about that in a second. Next question: what are the main components or services of Amazon AWS? So to work in any Amazon AWS role, we need to have an understanding of the different components and services that are a part of it. So here's a comprehensive answer, an in-depth one that you can use at your interview. Here we go. There are many components or services that AWS offers, and the core ones can be broken down into storage, management, security, databases, mobile services, application services, networks, and analytical services. Now, some of the standout components and services are Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, also known as Amazon EC2, which provides scalable compute capacity in the cloud. Another key component is Amazon's VPC, the Virtual Private Cloud. Now, this allows for users to create private virtual networks where they have complete control to launch any AWS services in. There are many services in storage that AWS offers, such as S3 and Elastic Block Storage. Databases are also a key component of AWS, with services such as Amazon RDS, which enables the quick setup and the use of rational databases via the cloud, and Amazon DynamoDB allows for lightning quick deployment of rational databases that utilize SSD drives to store any amount of data and handle all levels of traffic. AWS also provides fantastic application services with SWS, Simple Workflow Service, for task management, and also Amazon SQS, Simple Queue Service, for the automation. Finally, there is an array of management services such as CloudWatch and CloudTrail. So that's a comprehensive answer. It shows that you understand the different components and services. Obviously, there's a lot more to AWS than that, but that will give you a great grounding to provide a solid answer to that interview question. Now, the next one is a really tough one. Tell me a time when you demonstrated one of Amazon's leadership principles. Think for a second, you go along to the Amazon interview and they throw this question at you. Well, of course, you need to know what the leadership principles are to be able to provide an answer to it. So Amazon has 14 very important leadership principles. Now, when answering this AWS interview question, think of a specific situation when you applied one of them during a work-related project or task. Now, before I come on to a sample answer, let me quickly show you the Amazon leadership principles, and then you can choose one and decide which one you want to use during your answer. Now, bias for action is one, which is basically getting things done. Another is inventing things. When have you created things or, found a simple solution to a difficult problem? Having backbone, disagreeing, and then committing. So think about a time when perhaps you challenged a manager's decision. Maybe they disagreed with you and you then committed to their course of action. Customer obsession. Now, the number one most important person in Amazon is always the customer. Amazon is brilliant at customer service, and in my opinion, it is the main reason why they have been so successful for so long. Earning trust, which is about treating people with respect. Leaders in Amazon are right a lot of the time, so that's when you make really good decisions. They hire and develop the best people. They learn and be curious all of the time. Frugality, which is achieving more with less, so you look after the finances and don't spend unnecessarily. You will always think big, so you could give an example of when you've done something at work that was a huge ambition of yours or the company's. You take ownership of situations, you dive deep. That's when you look into projects and analyze the data and information to make informed decisions. And then insisting on the highest standards, that would be a good one to use. Or perhaps when you've delivered results when things are really difficult, but you've done it to the right standard and on time. Now, the example that I'm going to give you is based on customer obsession. So here is the question again. Tell me a time when you demonstrated one of Amazon's leadership principles. Here's my suggested answer that uses the STAR technique. And you'll notice that I structure the answer with situation, task, action, result. It's very effective. I was working on an important cloud-based project with a group of 5 other people. The client had very strict timescales for completion, and although the team had not worked with each other before, we knew we had to work hard to meet the objectives and provide outstanding service. Now, because the project needed total customer focus, I suggested one of the team members should be in constant communication with the client remotely to make sure every step of our work was to the necessary specification. Everyone agreed this was a good idea, and so I volunteered to be the main point of contact. Now, throughout the duration of the project, I kept the client updated on a daily basis, and I also asked them various non-technical questions to drill down deeply into their requirements. Now, this information was then relayed back to the team, and by maintaining constant communication and by asking lots of in-depth questions, I was able to steer the group throughout the project, which ultimately led to it being a massive success for the client, and they were extremely pleased with the results. So you can see there, by using situation, task, action, result, the STAR technique, you are able to construct a very in-depth and concise answer that shows when you are able to demonstrate one of the 14 Amazon leadership principles. So the next thing for you to do is please click that link in the top right hand corner of the video. It'll take you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of Amazon AWS interview questions and answers that's useful for all Amazon AWS job roles. Go through to the page, have a look at all of the questions. There's also some tips, further tips to help you pass your interview. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please don't forget to subscribe, connect with me on LinkedIn, and also give the video a like. As I mentioned at the start, if I see you like the video, I will do more for you. I will create more content. I hope you've enjoyed that. I wish you all the best for passing your Amazon AWS interview. Have a brilliant day. Thank you.